All right, we got the UFC Singapore Holloway versus Zombie Draftkings Daily Fantasy. I'm gonna get straight into this video, and yeah, we're gonna jump right into it. So first fight, opening up, we got Mr. Jarno Aarons going up against. We're gonna call him. I almost called him Do Hoo Choi, but it's Sang Hoo Choi, and I just don't think there's gonna be value for Sang Hoo at 8,800. Wild fighter, chin pretty much gone at this point, and Aarons was able to show some slick striking in his fight versus Gomez. Obviously, it didn't go his way, but I think that Choi is gonna put himself in position to be finished there. So I just see more value, with Aarons to get the job done with the striking. And I just think that Choi is going to be a little bit too reckless. Chin is going to be a little bit gone. So I wouldn't put him in my lineup. I would honestly fade him. And I'd say there's value with Jarno Aarons. Next up, we got Nai Liang going up against JJ Aldridge. Now, Nai Liang is actually moving up from strawweight to flyweight, and I don't think that's being highlighted enough. Obviously, we've seen her gas out in her recent fights. The first one against Ariane Carlosi, she was able to, get Carlosi a little bit hurt, and then ultimately, lose the fight by fatigue. And I mean, she had 3 takedowns, 2 reversals, so you could tell she was going crazy. And then she went up against an extreme power puncher in Gomez Juarez, who's not even in the UFC anymore. So I'm actually gonna pick the big underdog. I think the biggest underdog on the card here, one of, if not the biggest, to get this one done, only because JJ Aldridge is just not a dangerous fighter. In her 11 career wins, she only has 2 knockouts, and she just shows a zero sense of urgency to win a fight. Even in the fight versus Ariane Lipski, where the path to victory was clear, get the takedowns, control the fight from there, she just wasn't even attempting to do it. Absolutely terrible performance. So I'm not putting my trust into a girl that doesn't even want to fight when I could trust someone that is going to actually go out there and try to go to get the win, and she's moving up in weight. So I'm definitely going with Nai Liang to get this one done. And it's women's MMA, so who really cares? Like, people are going to be on the JJ Aldridge side, and then she can end up losing. And if you pick the underdog, can you really be mad at yourself? Because usually that's how it goes with women's MMA. The underdogs usually end up getting wins, and weird things happen all the time. So I'm on that side for this fight. Definitely fade JJ Aldridge. She's not going to give you enough points for 9,400. If you think that she's going to be able to finish Nai Liang, because Nai Liang is going to just be crazy and put herself in position to get finished, then go on right ahead. But I think there's just more value with Nai Liang, and JJ Aldridge has never even put up 100 fantasy in her career. So I'm telling you, like, this girl does not want to fight. She's not aggressive at all. She just sits out at range, tries to pump out a jab. She's not aggressive at all. So on to the next. Next up, we got Billy Goff going up against Yusaku Kinoshita. Now Yusaku, he showed some good striking in the road to UFC and was able to get the job done over there. Then he had his UFC debut against Adam Fuggett, and he ended up getting taken down, controlled, and ended up losing by ground and pound. That's not going to happen in the fight versus Goff. Goff's not going to really be trying to shoot for too much takedowns, to be honest. And even if he does, he's not going to be able to control Kinoshita the same way that Adam Fuggett was able to do it. And Goff just gets hurt too often early, so I gotta lean with Kinoshita to get this one done. Goff has already been hurt numerous amounts of times in his MMA career, and he's just making his UFC debut, so I can't trust a guy like that to come in and get the job done. If he was a wrestler of some sort, then I'll be like, oh yeah, maybe he can do something to Kinoshita here, but I gotta go with Kinoshita to get this one done. I think there's slightly more value in Kinoshita, but if you think that Goff is going to be tough and has the ability to have one of those comeback wins like he's been doing, then you can go ahead and lean on the Goff side. Next up, we got Song Kanong going up against Rolando Bedoya. Now, Rolando Bedoya is tough, gritty striker, had a great performance in his UFC debut versus Chaos Williams. I thought he won the fight, but for some reason the judges gave the fight to Chaos Williams. He got hit a few times by Chaos in that fight, but nothing too clean, nothing too flush. He's good with rolling with the punches, and even though Song has power here, I just think that his this is another case of an opponent where his chin is just gone. His chin is gone. He got knocked out badly by some random guy named Potter. I don't even know who that is. Then he got knocked out really badly by Max Griffin. Then he got slumped over by Ian Gary in the 3rd round. So I just can't trust a guy that has a weak chin to beat a guy in Bedoya who's shown he can roll with heavy power punches. He can roll with the punches, and he can put out volume himself and land some really great shots. So I'm gonna go with Bedoya to get this one done. In terms of the fantasy points, do I see him being worth 9,200? If I'm being honest, not really. Kanan, and it's for him, not really either. I would say more so Bedoya, because of how weak Kanan's chin is at this point. Bedoya could get the job done here, but it's kind of hard for me to really want to pick either of these guys. So I'm just gonna fade both of them, to be honest. And yeah, we can move on to the next fight. We got Chidi Njokuani going up against Michael Olajaychuk. And yeah, I think this fight is almost a pick 'em. I think both guys are obviously going to be worth it, but the thing here is that we've seen Chidi Njokuani not really be able to deal with pressure that much. And in terms of Olajaychuk hasn't really been finished by knockout really at all in his career, only once. And the majority of his other losses where he's been finished has come from submission. And Chidi Njokuani is not that guy that is out there getting submissions. He's been more susceptible to getting finished, and I think that's going to be the same thing that happens here in this fight. I think that Olajaychuk is going to go out there and put the pressure on Njokuani, and is going to make it a tough fight for him. And he couldn't, I think that Olajaychuk can get the finish here. Obviously, I'm not going to count out Njokuani because he does have some power in his hands. But when he's backing up, he's just pretty much not the same fighter. And it's really hard for him to get the job done at that point. So going with Olajaychuk to get this done. Both guys have value. Choose who you guys want to choose. I'm going with the Olajaychuk side. I'm going with the guy who's been knocked out less versus the guy who's been knocked out more often and doesn't like pressure. So Olajaychuk is going to be my pick. But if you guys want to pick Njokuani, it's up to you. Both guys have value. Next up, we got Toshiyama Kazama. Yeah, we're just gonna call it Kazama. We got Kazama going up against Garrett Armfield. Now, the main issue I have with this fight is that Kazama's gonna run in with his chin in the air, and I think Armfield's gonna be able to get this one done. Armfield's showing that he has some good striking, good ability to control the fight alongside the cage, and he ended up losing this fight to Onama because he took the fight on short notice. That really wasn't gonna go his way. He ended up losing, but he did have some good control time there, landed a few good strikes. But a short notice, taking the fight on short notice versus Onama is kind of like, really, do we really want to, hold that against him versus a guy in Kazama that's going to literally run at his opponent with his chin in the air. Like, he's super aggressive. He's going to go for the takedowns and stuff like that, but he just puts himself in too many weird, odd positions that I just can't trust him. But I'll be honest, both guys definitely do have value here. With the fantasy, because either Armfield's going to be able to get the knockout or Kazama's going to be able to implement that grappling and get the fight to the ground. I just don't like the way, I just don't like Kazama's entries. Like, he just runs in with his chin up in the air, and I think Armfield should be able to capitalize on that. So I would say he's more worth it, but I'd be lying if I said that Kazama don't got value. He definitely has value himself. Next up, we got Lucas Brzezinski going up against Waldo Cortez Acosta. Now, Lucas Brzezinski, I think he's more live to win this fight. Acosta just doesn't, he just doesn't check leg kicks enough. And his 2 wins have come against 2 bums. And he just got beat by Marcos Rogerio de Lima. So I'm going Brzezinski to win this fight. But it's a heavyweight fight. Anything can happen. Even in the fight that Brzezinski had against Martin Buday, who's a really good fighter, he got robbed. He outstruck him. He won that fight. I don't know what the judges were doing. Then his following fight, he lost to Carl Williams, who's a wrestler. Acosta's not a wrestler, and he's a little bit more green. So I can just see that. I can see Brzezinski being able to get this one done. I think he's definitely worth the 7,100. As for Acosta, I don't think he's worth the 9,100. Even in his win he had against a terrible fighter like Van Der, he only scored 59 points. So I just can't find myself to be able to trust him to be able to get this one done versus Brzezinski. He's definitely not worth the 9,100 in my opinion. Next up, we got Parker Porter going up against Justin Tafa. We've seen Parker Porter get slumped over by Tafa already. He kind of just ran in like an idiot with his chin in the air. Didn't implement the takedowns as quickly as he really should have. But I think that both guys have value because either Parker Porter is going to be able to get the fight to the ground and pretty much control the fight there. Because, Justin Tafa has, or Junior Tafa, my bad. Junior Tafa has literally nothing off of his back once he gets taken down. So, if he gets taken down, the fight's pretty much done. If he can keep the fight on the feet, then he can end up knocking out Parker Porter. So both guys have value here. It's a heavyweight fight. Choose your side. One of them might end up scoring really well, but it's tough. I feel like it's 50-50 down the line. I mean, Junior Tapa has no experience in MMA, 4-1. I mean, you really want to trust him? I don't know. And do you really want to trust Parker Porter's chin? I don't know. So choose your side here, but I think either guy's score is good here. Next up, we got Talia Santos going up against Erin Blanchfield. And I made an underdog of the night video, and I have Talia Santos in this video, or in this fight. She just faced stiffer competition, deadly grappler, powerful striker, good striker, champion, where I felt that she won that fight. She's shown she has good grappling, good control on the ground. All of her opponents that she hasn't, if she hasn't finished them, which the only person she's finished was Joanne Wood, she's been able to control all of her opponents for over 8 minutes in each fight. So, I mean, I can see that happening to Erin Blanchfield here. I mean, look who Erin Blanchfield has fought here. I mean, JJ Aldridge, Miley McCann, both of them fought Miley McCann, but I mean, Miley McCann is terrible on the ground. And then, she took a short notice fight against, or Andrade took a short notice fight against Blanchfield when Blanchfield was supposed to fight Talia Santos, but there was a bit of visa issues there. So personally, in all these other fights, Erin Blanchfield has been getting finishes, yes, but I mean, against who, really? Like, I just can't trust her. And Santos is the better striker in this fight. Do I think that Blanchfield has value? I'm gonna say yes, because there is a possibility that, it's a women's fight. There's a possibility, Blanchfield can get the fight down and control the fight from there and win the fight like that. But I just, I don't think it's a fact that Talia Santos is literally the better fighter, the better striker, the better, more well-rounded fighter. Blanchfield's good on the ground too, but I just gotta pick Santos here, and I think there's more value here with Santos because of how stiff the competition is on both ends. Whichever female would have been cheaper would be more worth it. Like, even if Blanchfield was cheaper, I would have said that she'd be more worth it in terms of fantasy, but I think that Santos got the better value here, so I'm gonna definitely say Santos got the better value and Blanchfield not so much. Next we got Fernie Garcia versus what's his name, Rinya Nakamura. Yeah, Rinya Nakamura. Yeah, this should be an easy, I don't want to say easy fight, but Nakamura should be able to get this one done. Fernie doesn't really have no real takedown defense, and Nakamura has a bunch of power in his hand. And I mean, from there, it's pretty simple. Like, he should be able to get this one done. We just saw Fernie go up against a grappler. He couldn't get the job done. So now he's going up against a grappler like Highstand, but this grappler has insane power. Yeah, I just don't see how Fernie should be able to get this one done. He definitely should be a fade. I can't see him getting a win here at all. I think that Nakamura is worth it to be in lineups. If you want to pass on him because of how expensive he is, then that's cool. But I think he's definitely worth it. Next up, we got Alex Caceres versus Giga Chikadze. I think that none of these guys are worth it. Maybe, if anything, maybe Alex Caceres a little bit more worth it just because of the experience. We've seen him go 5 rounds before against Yair Rodriguez here. He really didn't do much of anything, but we know that he has the cardio. And in terms of Giga Chikadze, it's not really a cardio issue for him, but we just haven't seen him do too. I mean, he's been doing his job in the UFC. He's been getting the wins, but to be honest here, he's the better kickboxer here, so he should be able to get this one done. Is he going to be able to finish Alex Caceres? I don't really know, because Caceres has only been knocked out once in his career, and he's fought some pretty good fighters. So I don't think that either guy is going to be really worth it in terms of pricing. I think that it's going to be a kickboxing match for the most part. And yeah, I just don't really know if any one of them are going to really get a finish here. So I'll say fade both of them, but Giga should be able to get this one done. Next up to the co-main event, we got a rematch, Anthony Smith versus Ryan Spann. I think you got to pick your side here, because I mean, look at Ryan Spann's last 6 fights. They've all ended in the first round. So either he's going to get a finish or he's going to get finished. We've seen Smith get the finish over him already. But I'm going to lean towards Ryan Spann here. And only reason I'm going to lean towards Ryan Spann is because the trajectory of their career. Smith is more focused on that analyst career he has going outside of fighting. So I think he's able to like focus a bit more on that. And in terms of the fighting, he just doesn't really have it anymore. I mean, his most recent fight versus Johnny Walker was a horrible performance. And, for Spann, yes, he did lose to Nikita Krylov, but they were supposed to have a main event. Nikita Krylov gets sick the day of the main event, so the fight had to get pushed to like a week and a half or 2 weeks later. They then ended up fighting at a catch weight of 215. Ryan Spann was like super emotional before that point. Then when they got to the fight, he just fought really out of control, literally jumped into a literal triangle and just got choked out. So that was kind of funny to see. But I'm gonna just slightly lean, I'm gonna slightly lean towards Ryan Spann to get the revenge here. The trajectory of the careers, I'm gonna lean towards Ryan Spann to get it done. But both guys obviously clearly have value. Pick your side here. This is a pick your side. One of these guys is gonna score really good, so maybe one of them should really be in your lineup. And last but not least, we got Max Holloway going up against the Korean Zombie Chan Sung Jun. And I mean, come on now. This is obvious here. Max Holloway should be able to get this one done. I mean, he's only lost to, like, look, Volkanovski, he's lost to 3 times. The second Volkanovski fight, I thought he won. But they didn't, the judges didn't give it to him. He lost to Dustin Poirier. That was a lightweight title fight. And then every other single featherweight fight he's won. The last time he's lost a non-title fight at featherweight was against who? Conor McGregor. And we know how Conor McGregor was back in them days when he was hungry, man. He was a monster. And he only lost by decision, so it was what it was. But yeah, I just can't see Korean Zombie being able to do anything here. Maybe he might be able to land some type of odd punch on Max, because Max does get hit every now and then, and the fight's gonna play out on the feet for the most part. But I mean, I just can't see Korean Zombie being able to really do anything here. I mean, he has a win over Dan Ige. That's a pretty good win, I'll be honest. That was a good win, I'll be real about that, which led to him getting a title shot. And then he got dominated by Volkanovski, so I just don't think he has much left in the tank. And yeah, if you want to take some weird chance on him, then hey, go on ahead. But I can see Max Holloway just loading up on volume here. 100+ strikes in the fight. I mean, he does it every single fight. Damn near 100+ strikes in every single fight. So Max Holloway is going to be in my lineup. I can see him getting a finish here. I can see him getting this one done, getting his first finish since 2018. I can see him definitely doing that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Max Holloway to get this one done. And that's gonna do it for the video, y'all. Y'all already know what to do. Drop a like, comment, subscribe, and good luck to those that are gonna be playing in this contest, man. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.